Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai, pushing to get up out here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. Alright, and what I want to get into today, is a healthy fear of the Lord, goes a long way. Alright, and those who are going to be delivered, in these last days, those of the nation of Israel, because you have to be a descendant, alright, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, to even qualify, alright, for deliverance and salvation, okay, and no matter how offended the world gets, when you make that point, it is what it is, man. No one was offended, when we were stuffed on cargo slave ships, alright, our children was feeded, were being fed to gators, okay, they was making furniture out of Jake's skin, alright, Jake hair, okay, castrating men, butt breaking the men in front of the family. No one was offended then. So when we say salvation is only for Israel, and that's just a topic of, that causes uproar, well, it is what it is. Feel how you want to feel. That doesn't change the facts. Okay? Your emotions about the truth doesn't change the truth, man. Okay? And there's a remnant that's been awakened in these last days. Alright, a remnant of the nation of Israel, the lineage of Israel, okay, that has been awakened to a healthy fear of Yahweh Bashim Shai, okay, and that fear has us constantly considering our ways, it's governing how we move, how we react, okay, how we sacrifice, discipline. You see, the fear of the Lord, alright, a healthy fear of the Lord is going to go a long way, even all the way into salvation, man. And we're finna see a major difference in how people, alright, are going to react to what's coming, based on, alright, their fear of the Lord or the lack thereof. Those that don't fear the Lord, they're subjugated to this devil, okay, and what he's going to present, okay? But those that fear the Lord are going to resist this devil, man. The Lord going to work miracles, man. It's His promise. Even in those that have to be martyrs, guess what? The ultimate miracle going to be their resurrection. That's a rescue from death. That's salvation. The salvation, one of the main definitions of salvation is a what? A rescue from death. Let's look that up. I'm going to read this precept, and then I want to just look up a simple definition of it. Alright. Salvation. So they done change it up. Let me see. Go to the definition. There you go. Alright, so when you just go into a quick, just a quick definition, it says salvation. It says a preservation or deliverance from harm, ruin, or loss. Alright, from harm, ruin, or loss. Okay? So when you go into salvation, just a simple term, it's a preservation from harm, ruin, or loss. Okay? And the Lord, right, let me read this and then we'll expound. This is on G&T as well, the Good News Bible. Okay? It's a good read, always with these translations. It's good to have a thorough understanding of the King James, so you can understand when they go off, and that's all through the Spirit. But it's a good Bible, $7 on Amazon. Okay, so this is a Good News Bible. The today's English version And it's from the American Bible Society. You know, I know brothers be interested in the GNT, you know. But yeah, pretty good Bible though. So, let's get Sirach 33:1. It says, "No evil will ever come to a person who fears the Lord. However often danger come, the Lord will come to the rescue." Okay, so reading this again, Sirach 33:1. No evil will ever come to a person who fears the Lord. However often danger comes, the Lord will come to the rescue, man. You know, and the Lord is about to show his power in two ways. Okay? Through miracles of preserving his elect and also his destruction and judgment on the wicked. Okay? So the Lord's finna show his power in two ways, man. And those that fear the Lord, alright, they're gonna be privy, okay, they're gonna have the privilege of being preserved by miracles, man. Even those that have to take the death, guess what? They're gonna be preserved and they're gonna be resurrected. Okay, even death is being preserved. Alright, a way of being preserved for the elect. And see, even death work in our favor if we are the elect, man, because we're going to be resurrected. Okay? So Esau, Edom has no power over the elect, man. Even if the Lord allows the devil, okay, to take the life of the elect, Yahushua is going to give it back. Okay? With immortality, man. With a true upgrade, with a new body. Okay? But it comes from the fear, because those that take the death are those that fear Yahweh Shema Shah above what the devil can do. Okay? And those believers are going to be rewarded with everlasting life and rulership. Okay? So the fear of the Lord goes beyond even a death sentence, man. Okay? Because Yahweh Shai has the authority to overturn that when he comes back. Okay? Verse 34. Matter of fact, chapter 34. So this is Sirach 34. I'm going to jump to Sirach 34 and 13. Still in the GNT. It said, those who fear the Lord will live because they have put their trust in the one who can save them. And there's only one that can save us in this time, man. You know, and that's Yahweh Shai. Even going back, Yahweh Shai can even deliver us from death. Okay? He can deliver us from every situation that we can think to be in. Yahweh Shai can deliver us. See, this the way that we prep is to fear the Lord. You see? Because people that prep and they try to prep for all these different scenarios, man, okay, they're going to fall short. Because there's things that's going to happen that they can't be prepared for. Okay? Even on the left-hand side, certain things that the elites got, you can't prep for. Alright? The power that the Lord has given Esau, Edom, there are certain things that you can't prep for, man. Okay? Well, this devil is getting ready, alright, to unleash on the masses, man. Okay? Because Esau looking at you, people prepping. Alright? And you don't think that he is customizing how he going to come at you based on how you prepping? You know what's being bought, and then you put everything on the TV, on the YouTube. You go through your step survival. Then you give this nigga your step by step, alright, survival strategy, man. And you don't think he got a counter for that? Okay? The only way to prep, alright, is to be an Israelite that fears Yahweh by Shema Shai. That's the only way to prep for the times that we're coming into. Okay? Isaiah 34 and 13 said, those who fear the Lord will live because they have put their trust in the one who can save them. Fear the Lord and you will have nothing else to fear. So we fear Yahweh by Shema Shai. We have nothing else to fear. Not even death. Most people, what? They fear death. They fear losing their life. Most people fear losing, their homes and their status and their job and their money. But when you fear the Yahweh by Shema Shai, you don't have to fear none of those things, man. Okay? Because we know who it comes from. We know who's the source of everything. We fear he is. Okay? Through his son, Yahweh Shai, the deliverer, man. So we fear Yahweh by Shema Shai. We don't have to fear nothing. I know El Khazar used to always say, I don't know where he got the saying from, but he used to always say, If you, fear Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, you don't have to fear nothing else. Okay, but if you don't fear the Lord, you have to fear everything. Okay? So read this again in verse 14. It said, fear the Lord, and you will have nothing else to fear. If your trust is in him, you will never act like a coward, man. Okay? Because our strength, our boldness, our confidence comes from Yahweh Bashim Al Shai being plugged into the source. Okay? It's not of us, man. We're not emboldened by our own ability. And that's another thing. A lot of people that's emboldened by their own ability, man, finna be greatly humbled. Okay? Through judgment, man. Okay? Through these hard times. These hard times is going to do a great humbling in the earth, man. Because there's a lot of people that's emboldened by their own ability. Whether they're, tactical with weaponry, okay, whether they have certain, skills or living off grid, which there's nothing wrong with it. That's, hey, that's what you do. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Okay? But if you're emboldened and thinking that gives you, all right, an edge in these times, man, you're sadly mistaken. What gives us the edge is our fear in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, because brothers get into things. Brothers know how to do things. Certain you sisters, you know how to, we sons and daughters of the Most High, man. Okay, so of course we know how to do particular things. We got skills. Okay, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Okay, but if you become emboldened in that and thinking that that's going to give you an advantage in these times, now it's going to be the Lord, man. And if any of those things, any skills or, that we have, play to our advantage in these times coming up, that was of the Lord. That's still of the Lord. We can't take credit for anything, man. Okay? It's all Yahweh Bashim Al Shai that allows us. It's all based on his goodness, man. Everything is based on his goodness, man. And his mercy. So we're not emboldened within ourselves. No, we emboldened in our power, which makes us not be cowards, man. To boldly proclaim to Esau, Edom, that he's finished. The boldness to do that comes from Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. We know we serve a higher power, man. And what got this nigga at bay to where he don't make a move on us, man? Okay? Because it's the power of the Lord. This devil can't make a move until the Lord, all right, gives this nigga the jurisdiction to make a move. Okay? The authority to make a move. You see? So our boldness comes from our power, man. We know that he is, man. You see? And it says, people who fear the Lord are fortunate because they know where they can look for help. The Lord watches over those who love him. He is their strong protection and firm support. He shelters them from heat, shades them from the noonday sun, and keeps them from stumbling and falling. He makes them he makes them cheerful and puts a sparkle in their eyes. He blesses, all right, them with life and health, man. So those that love Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, to have a true reverence and a fear for Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, man, the Lord's gonna be a shelter at noonday, and that's when things are gonna be the most intense, because the sun is at its most intense time in the noon. Okay? So this is when the Lord gonna put the spirit on the devil to really come with it. At noonday, man, it's gonna be the devil, madman sparing none. Okay? But the scripture say the Lord shall be like a house, which shields us from everything that the devil is getting ready to do. Okay? Even the spirit of not being afraid to die for Yahweh Shai, well, guess what? That's a covering, so the devil doesn't have leverage on us, by threatening our lives, man. Well, look, we're covered. We know we good either way, so that you don't have that leverage. We're covered in that, man. So we're covered from all things, those that fear and love Yahweh Bashim Al Shai in truth and sincerity, man. So that's the point. Just wanted to tap into that, Lord will. You brothers and you sisters were edified once again. Want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being Salaki, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutation to the whole Shalom.